Welcome back to Ballaholics, the show for those who simply can't get enough of basketball. I am Sam, joined once again by my co-host Ian Mills. Ian, I hope you're recovering. I know the Bills, you had a tough loss a couple weeks ago against the Kansas City Chiefs, and I hope you're recovering, but obviously we got to talk about the big game this Sunday, tomorrow, the Kansas City Chiefs and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It's Tom Brady against Patrick Mahomes, not Josh Allen. I'm sorry, Ian, I got to keep throwing daggers in there, but I know you'll be okay. I know you'll recover. So, Ian, I want you to, take it away. What are your predictions for this game on Sunday?
Well, I'll be all right just because it was nice to see the Bills get the start. But my prediction, is the Chiefs win this game by more than a touchdown. I truly think that the Chiefs will win. I think it'll be, relatively close. I don't think they'll win by, 20 or something like that. But I think the Chiefs will win this pretty handily. And again, if you look at their game against the Bills, right in the first quarter, McCole Hardman fumbled a punt inside the 1 yard line, and the Bills scored immediately, went up 9-0 very early on. Nobody on the Chiefs seemed to care. Like they almost were like, all right, we're not they were in that position. They've been in that position a million times, and then they dropped 40 on the Bills without breaking a sweat. Mind you, that's the Bills defense that held Lamar Jackson and the Ravens to 3 points a week prior. The Chiefs are actually otherworldly. I mean, they are. I truly do believe they may be down the line may end up being better than the Patriots dynasty, at least the way they're playing right now. That being said, I really just think Pat Mahomes is like steps above Tom Brady at this moment. Obviously, Tom Brady in his career, he's the GOAT, whatever you want to call him. Patrick Mahomes at this moment is playing about twice as good as almost any other player in any other quarterback in the NFL. And that includes Tom Brady. Tom Brady didn't get to the Super Bowl because of himself. I mean, he did play well, at least in spots late down the season, but he threw 3 picks in the second half against the Packers.
Stop that.
And look, on top of this, I do think if you look forward in the future, Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady have played once in the playoffs before. Obviously, Tom Brady winning in overtime in Lambeau or not in Lambeau? I'm sorry, in Gillette Stadium. And the Chiefs didn't get a chance to get the ball back, right? So that's kind of unfair just because the overtime rules were like that at the time. I think that this probably will be their last time they ever play in the playoffs unless, again, we get a repeat of the Super Bowl next year. That being said, if Tom Brady beats Pat Mahomes in the Super Bowl, regardless of what Pat Mahomes does the rest of his career, there will always be the question, can Pat Mahomes even be the GOAT if he couldn't beat the GOAT? You know what I mean? So this game, it looks like just the Super Bowl. It's the Super Bowl, but also it matters for Patrick Mahomes' legacy, and he's only 25. We usually don't talk about legacy at that young of an age, but he's at that point where he's on the trajectory to be the greatest of all time. He's surpassing Tom Brady in almost all stats in their first 3 seasons. If he wins the Super Bowl against Tom Brady, he will certainly be on that trajectory to be the GOAT. So I think it certainly matters because he might just never have the chance again to play Brady. But yeah, I think the Chiefs are winning. Chiefs defense is underrated. So is the Bucs, but the Chiefs defense really is stingy. In that showed against one of the best offenses 2 weeks ago against the Bills. So, I do believe the Chiefs will win this game.
I know, obviously, you have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers against the Kansas City Chiefs. It's a team game, but it's really, we both know, Ian, it's the battle of the GOATs. It's the battle of the gods. Who is your god? Are you rolling with Patrick Mahomes or are you rolling with Tom Brady? And listen, by pure logic, it should be Patrick Mahomes. I've heard people have been saying, they've been comparing this to LeBron versus MJ. But here's this thing, Ian. Nothing against LeBron James, but Patrick Mahomes is doing things that LeBron James he was not doing at such an early age. In his first season, Patrick Mahomes gets the regular MVP award. The only reason Patrick Mahomes, he should have won the Super Bowl arguably his first year. The only reason he didn't is because he had to go up against Tom Brady in the AFC Championship game. And like you said before, the only reason Patrick Mahomes lost is because he couldn't even get the ball back. The second season, Patrick Mahomes wins the Super Bowl against the San Francisco 49ers. They're down 20-10 in the fourth quarter, and Patrick Mahomes comes back and wins his Super Bowl in his second year, so early in his career. Now his third year, he is back in the Super Bowl once again. Oh, yeah, wait. Did I forget to mention that Patrick Mahomes, his second year, they were down 24-0 to the Houston Texans in the divisional round. They were also down, as I said before, 20-10 to the San Francisco 49ers in that Super Bowl game. And listen, Ian, here's why they're so good. Because Patrick Mahomes is one of the greatest players we've ever seen right now, and he's doing it at such a young age. That offense, the Kansas City Chiefs offense, is one of the most explosive offenses ever seen to mankind. Tyreek Hill is one of the fastest players I've ever seen. He is faster than a cheetah. He is faster than the boy from The Incredibles. The way he's able to break away from defenders, even if he gets thrown a 10-yard pass by Patrick Mahomes, he can just dash it for 50 yards and get a touchdown. So that team is one of the most explosive teams. I will concede that to you, Ian Mills. But here's what you are not measuring in your statistic of who the GOAT is right now. At this point, you are not measuring the will and the heart of the QB. Logically, by pure logic, it should be Patrick Mahomes in the Kansas City Chiefs. But it's going to be Tom Brady, Ian. And you want to know why, Ian? You want to know why people like you fall for this? Listen, Ian. Here's why people like you fall for this. It's because whenever people sleep on Tom Brady, for whatever reason, I can't find it logically. Logically, it does not make sense. But Tom Brady constantly proves people wrong. If you go by what should happen logically, Tom Brady was the backup QB in high school. There's no way he should have been a backup in college. He should not have been after being a backup in college. After a bad NFL scouting performance, there was no way he should have been drafted. He was drafted 199th overall in the 6th round. He was a backup QB. There's no way this guy should be a star. There's no way he could start. Oh, wait, he does start. Did you not hear? I was watching a report when he was 25 years old, Tom Brady. He even admitted that he never had all the natural abilities. He was not naturally strong. He was not naturally gifted. He was not naturally tall. He was not naturally fast. He was not naturally any of those things. But you know what Tom Brady had? He had the greatest edge of all. Because he had the will and he had the heart of a champion. Tom Brady is playing in his 10th Super Bowl game. He's about to win his 7th Super Bowl game. And listen, Ian, when he wins his 7th Super Bowl game, not only is he going to be the greatest football athlete, he's going to be the greatest athlete in all sports, Ian. You like that one? In all sports.
No.
That's Michael Jordan, too. Because you know why? Because people sleep on Tom Brady. I'm picking Tom Brady. I'm picking the man who was drafted 199th overall over the player who was drafted 10th overall. Tom Brady is my God. He is going to win his 7th Super Bowl. Once again, he beat Drew Brees. He beat Aaron Rodgers. He's going to be Patrick Mahomes. This is going to be the final clincher of the last dance of Tom Brady's career.
First up, the GOAT of all sports, if we want to talk about that. I mean, I think Serena Williams kind of locked that up. I think, if not her, Secretariat, the racehorse back in the day, maybe,
Okay, so Ian, are you watching the racehorse? Are you watching the racehorses? Or are you watching the NFL?
I think Secretariat died way before I was born.
You know what, Ian? Which sport gathers the most viewership for one game?
Well, yeah, obviously the Super Bowl, but I'm just saying, whatever, it doesn't matter. But my point is I think Patrick Mahomes has heart as well. I mean, if you think about it, he went to Texas Tech. It wasn't like he was going – I mean, yes, Texas Tech is –
I'm not trying to take anything away from Patrick Mahomes, Ian. All I'm saying is you cannot beat the god Tom Brady. Tom Brady has the underdog mentality more than any other player. The underdog. He was not –
You're wrong there.
He was drafted 199th overall in the 6th round. He could have retired last year. He could have retired 2 years ago. He said, no, I'm going to go for my 7th. I'm going to go for what MJ couldn't do. I'm going to get my 7th championship. That's what Tom Brady is doing right now in the NFL.
I doubt Tom Brady is comparing himself to Michael Jordan, but on top of that, you just said no.
That's what he's going for, Ian. We all know he's the greatest. He's the greatest football player of all time right now. We all know that. He knows that. He's going to be. Now he's saying, listen, can I be not just the greatest athlete in football? Can I be the greatest athlete in any sport? That's the mountain that he's trying to climb right now by playing in this Super Bowl game.
You said you can't beat him. He lost to Nick Foles 3 years ago. Nick Foles, a guy who might not even be in the league.
Tom Brady is 9-3.
The only reason Nick Foles is in the league right now is because it would cost money to kick him out of the league. And he beat Tom Brady in the Super Bowl. Yeah, so I'm just saying
How many Super Bowls has Nick Foles went to? How many has he
won?
He got it. Did he win 6 Super Bowls? Wherever he goes, did he win 6?
Obviously, Tom Brady is better than Nick Foles. I'm not arguing with that, but I'm saying he is certainly, he's not perfect. He's not unbeatable. This is actually the first time since his first Super Bowl he's the underdog, and I think reasonably so. Obviously, he won his first Super Bowl, but it makes sense for this to be kind of the underdog at least. And I think the Chiefs should have gotten more points. I think the reason they didn't is because their O-line is kind of not just banged up, but obviously they have some COVID concerns, and that's frankly upsetting. But I think the Chiefs are
Mahomes looks down
as good as
field.
Tom Brady is,
Mahomes
as good as the Bucks are, and they played very well down the stretch. The Chiefs are beating teams this year, good teams this year, without really breaking a sweat. And I think it's possible to say the Chiefs have not played their best game of the year so far. I mean, they still haven't played the best game, and we're in the last game of the season. They really have just kind of gone out there and been like, all right, we're going to figure this thing out as it goes. And usually in the second half, when it's a tie game or maybe they're down by a touchdown, they just break wide open. Obviously, the Chiefs beat the Bucks earlier in the season. I believe it was week 12. I could be wrong on that. And Tyreek Hill went for 200 yards in the first quarter. So, it's certainly going to be – I think it could come down to how well the Bucks defense can contain – both Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill. But even on top of that, even if you do that, McCole Hardman is one of the fastest players in the NFL right behind Tyreek Hill. So, and it's not that I think the Bucks are a bad defense. I mean, they're a great defense, but I don't know that any defense can actually, frankly, contain this Chiefs offense, especially just their weapons. So
here's what I'm going to say. I completely agree with everything you said. The Kansas City Chiefs are a more talented team than the Buccaneers. They're better in every single facet, basically. Even Mahomes has more talent right now than Tom Brady. If I had to pick one of them in a regular season game or in basically any game, I'm choosing Patrick Mahomes due to his arm. The way that he's able to, throw in the pocket, he's able to run out. He thrives in disorder, Patrick Mahomes. And then he has Tyreek Hill, who went for 170 yards against your Buffalo Bills and torched your Bills. We're not going to go there. I don't want to get you upset. And then, of course, when these two teams played earlier in the year, Tyreek Hill had 270 yards. So, obviously, the Kansas City Chiefs have one of the most explosive offenses that we've ever seen to mankind. All I'm saying is that they haven't played Tom Brady in the Super Bowl. And wait, did I forget to mention the last time Kansas City played Tom Brady? The last time Patrick Mahomes played Tom Brady in the playoffs? I mentioned that. Whoever has the ball last, Ian, is going to win the game. That's what it's going to come down to. And look, logically speaking, Ian, I agree. Like, my logic when I first did this, it all points to Kansas City. Kansas City should win the game. They should be the favorite. And they only lost 2 games in the regular season. This is one of the best teams to ever play football, the Kansas City Chiefs. But Tom Brady is going to get the job done. I'm putting my money on Tom Brady. I don't know why. I don't have like an actual like cool reason, like a logical reason. I just know based on the history of Tom Brady's career and the GOAT that he is, the God that he is, I'm putting my faith in the God of Tom Brady over Patrick Mahomes. It's all Tom Brady. I think when there's a will, there's a way, baby.
I think that the last team that has the football, wins the game. I think that's not entirely true. I think the Bucks, again, I think it's kind of a moot point, but moot point. But the fact, I think the last thing the Bucks want is a shootout. I mean, I think if the Bucks, want or the Bucks attempting to win this game really is going to be just keeping the ball away from Pat Mahomes rather than seeing if they can just simply outscore him. Obviously, you have to outscore him to win, but I think if Patrick Mahomes puts up 40 points or whatever, it would be incredibly hard for the Bucks to match that. So I think it might just be kind of like a give the ball to Lenny Fournette or Rojo, and just hope that Pat Mahomes makes a mistake or two. And as we saw, Tom Brady made a couple in the second half against the Packers. So it's one of those things that you're right. It might come down to an errant throw by Pat Mahomes and the Bucks just get the ball at the right time. But I think if you're the Bucks going into this game, to think that you can possibly outscore them simply by a shootout and simply just going, playing just like a regular offense rather than just attempting to keep your offense on the field and keep the ball away from Pat Mahomes, I think is probably the better move. So I don't know. We'll see. Again, Tom Brady, yes, he is the GOAT. Tom Brady, more heart than anyone. I've actually began to like him more when he's not in the Bills division. So I used to hate the guy, and I really don't have a good reason. I think he's probably a fine person, but I can't root for him. I simply can't root for him.
I get it. I get it. And it's funny too, Ian. You know what? Because even if your Buffalo Bills would have beat the Kansas City Chiefs, you still can't escape Tom Brady. No one in the NFL can escape Tom Brady because you know why? Because in the NBA, look, in the NBA, the world revolves around LeBron James. And in the NFL, the world revolves around Tom Brady. So you can't escape Tom Brady.
All right, I think that torch might be handed off to Pat Mahomes after this year.
Look, we'll see. I definitely agree with you. I think that the Buccaneers' recipe for success, in order for them to win, they have to keep the ball out of Mahomes' hands as long as possible. Now, if you look at the previous games that Tampa Bay has played, their defense has capitalized off turnovers from the other team, interceptions, and those kind of things. I'm telling you right now, Patrick Mahomes is not turning over the ball. And even if Patrick Mahomes isn't having the best game, all it takes is you make one, you make two, you make tiny errors against this Kansas City team, and they will explode. They will run. That one play, Patrick Mahomes threw like 10 yards to Tyreek Hill. It was an easy throw. It was a small throw. And Tyreek Hill, they couldn't get Tyreek Hill down. He ran for 50 yards that play all the way to the other side of the field. So it's these little mistakes that Tampa Bay can't make. That's why Kansas City capitalizes, is because the other team will typically make one or two mistakes, and then that's the game. That's it. You can't do anything about it because they're so explosive as an offense. So if you're the Buccaneers, of course, I will agree with you that in order for them to win, their recipe is going to try and not let Patrick Mahomes have the possession of the football.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. But again, I think that's a lot easier said than done, especially against I think an underrated Chiefs defense. So we'll see. I think the biggest bet we could probably make on this would be, is it going to be heads or tails on the flip, coin flip? I'm riding with tails. I don't know about you.
I think the last 5 times, there was some statistic I was watching on TV. It was like the last 5 out of 6 times was tails.
Really?
So,
well, tails never fails.
People are saying now that you got to go with heads. It was something like that. It was close to those numbers.
Sam, are you saying that tails does fails? This tails doesn't fail. Tails never fails.
Really? Why is that?
Well, it rhymes. I mean, do you not see it? Do you not see it rhyming? Or hear it, rather?
Ian, listen, man. This is why I don't invest my money in you, because you are making a bet based off if it rhymes or not. But you're not much worse than other people, because I watched that TV commercial or whatever, and it pissed me off because people are saying, oh, since it's 5 times out of the last 6 for tails, we'll bet heads because the heads is due. Or we'll bet for tails since it's repeating. No. It's 50-50, no matter what. Those are all fallacies. That's BS. If you're investing, it's just 50-50. Don't do it. Don't bet on one because of that reason. It doesn't make sense. It's a fallacy. Give your money to me. I will invest your money perfectly. I will invest all your money in Tom Brady right now, beating Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl. You book it right now. It's going to be 38-35, Ian. You heard it here first on Ballaholics. 38-35, Tom Brady over Patrick Mahomes.
I'm gonna go 42-31 Bucks. No, sorry, Chiefs. 42-31 Chiefs.
I mean, look, I'm rubbing off on you a little bit, And listen, Ian, and the viewers too, if you want to bet, you can bet a little money on – you can give me some money to bet on the Bucks, and then you could also bet some money, give some money to Ian. He'll bet on Mahomes, and you can hedge your money if you want to do that. But listen, make sure you put most of your money on Tom Brady and the Bucks. Give most of your money to me, because that's really where you're going to make your returns.
No, absolutely not.
Well, look, you give it to Ian. The stock might rise a lot, but the problem is you won't know when to get out. It's sort of like the Bills. The Bills are so good in the beginning of the season. The stock rose up a little bit, and I was like, Ian, my dear friend, sell that money, sell the stocks. Tell your investors, be responsible to your investors. You said no. The Bills lost to the Chiefs. That money plummeted. Give me your money. I got you.
Yeah, the Knicks are going to make
this to the gym.
The Knicks are going to make the playoffs this year, winning like 32 games. It's really upsetting. They're going to, at least the Bills made the playoffs with like a real record. The Knicks, honestly, will be the Washington football team of the NFL playoffs this year, because they don't deserve to get in, but they will because of how bad the other teams in the East are. So, same thing happened to the Washington football team.
That's, it's interesting that you're talking about the Knicks not being a good team, because last time I checked, I actually am pretty sure that you're a huge Knicks fan. You're going to wear the jersey. You're going to wear all the Knicks gear, Ian, because I know the Bills lost. We made that bet that I didn't forget about last time. I want to see you rocking that Knicks jersey. I want to see a Julius Randle jersey. I want to see Emmanuel Quickley hat. I want to see Carmelo Anthony. I don't care that he's not in the Knicks. He's a Knick. Who else? Who else am I thinking of? I want to see Alfred Payton. I want to see Quivers. I want to see a Quivers shirt. You know Quivers, Austin Rivers and Emmanuel Quickley.
How long do I have to do this for?
You got to do it. I mean, listen, technically you only have to do it for a day, but it's probably in your best interest to keep all that merchandise and just rep New York City, rep the Knicks, because that team, that stock, my friends, not the Bills, are on the rise. They're on the rise. Because listen, and it's not even because the Knicks are such a good team, but it's because when you're a Knicks fan, owned by James Dolan, you can't get any lower. You have no risk to lose your money anymore because it's literally at the ground point. It's in the mantle. It can only go up. So invest your money in the Knicks as well. That's my final bet. And look, we got off track because you tried changing the conversation because I brought up your Buffalo Bills losing to the Chiefs. I know it's hard for you to do that, but it's okay, Ian. You're going to be okay. And also I know that you want to pick the Chiefs because they beat your Buffalo Bills. So you're hoping that the team that wins the Super Bowl is the one that beat your team. But it's going to be Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers today.
I will admit, if the Chiefs blow out the Bucs, it'll make the Bills' loss look great in comparison, and I would be lying if I said I don't want to see that.
Exactly. You have an ulterior motive. All your logic that you brought up before, all your reasoning, it's all BS. We all know why. It's because deep down you're a major Buffalo Bills fan, and you want to see nothing more than the Kansas City Chiefs blow out Tom Brady.
I mean, I'd rather see the Bills blow out Tom Brady. But, yeah, no, I get what you're saying, yeah.
All right, guys. We'll see what happens tomorrow at that Super Bowl game at 6:30. It's going to be a really fun game. This is going to be one of the better games, I think, in my opinion, Ian, because you have Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady. People say, once again, Michael Jordan and LeBron James. I don't agree with that comparison. They're both – like, right now, Patrick Mahomes keeps up what he's doing at his young age. He is on pace to be one of the greatest in the NFL. So we'll see what happens, Ian. Any final words?
I would say that the comparison between LeBron and Michael Jordan is actually fine because they are probably 1 and 2, and Pat Mahomes is on pace to be top.
That's ridiculous. So when did LeBron James win his title? When was the first year? How many years did it take LeBron James when he was in the league to win the title?
I would say if LeBron had the talent Pat Mahomes had, not that Pat Mahomes is winning simply because of his talent, but if Pat Mahomes had the talent in comparison to LeBron, he would have won the finals probably against the Spurs. And what year was that? 08, I want to say. Right? Yeah, I believe that was right? Wait, LeBron's first final with the Cavs, that was 08, I believe.
His first finals with the Cavaliers, that was around then, yeah.
Yeah, 07, all right. So it was pretty early on in his career. If he had the talent in comparison that Pat Mahomes had, then certainly I think he would have won the series. Think about it this way: LeBron's first finals, he was 23. Pat Mahomes was drafted at 22. So it is.
That's the way the NFL is.
I know, but I'm saying he's gonna whatever. So I think the comparison is fine.
All right, whatever. We'll see. We'll see what happens tomorrow. We'll see Patrick Mahomes. We'll see Tom Brady. We both chose our goats. Ian's riding with Patrick Mahomes. I'm riding with Tom Brady. We'll see what happens. And you guys enjoy the game tomorrow. We'll be back next week to discuss our Super Bowl reactions. All right. We'll see you guys. Enjoy the game.
Yep.